Phenylation. Just found out a DMCA free channel that shortens movies into 10 minutes and uses a Pepega TTS. Quite fascinating for movie time. What the fuck are you talking about? 153,000 views. Seems safe. Am I gonna take your word for DMCA?
Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a science fiction action film in time. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. As the technologies develop with time, time itself has become the universal currency someday in the future world, where time can be transferred directly between people or stored in the time capsules. People are genetically engineered with a timer on their forearm, and the newborn babies are given 1 year as their initial fortune, which stays unchanged until they reach their 25th birthday, when the 1 year begins to count down. When it reaches 0, the person times out and dies instantly. But for those rich in time, they would stop aging at their 25 and live an essentially immortal life, while those poor in time struggle hard every day.
Wait, how many? They had 1 year or 1 hour of the 25? 1 year? Why have I not heard about this movie before?
To earn enough time to pay their food, rent, and the loans. The 28-year-old boy Will, like many others, lives in an overcrowded slum and works hard at a factory with a small salary. One night right following the payday, Will grabs some drink at the local bar, where he meets a 105-year-old man who's pretty rich in time. However, a group of time-robbing thugs target the drunken old man and try to steal his time. Will manages to get rid of the thugs and takes the old man to a secret location, where the old man, who has 116 years on his clock but is tired of living, reveals to Will that the rich people hoard most of the time while constantly increasing prices to keep the poor dying. Will, however, can't understand the old man's negativities over his rich life. Believing that the old man is drunk for his words,
it was an alternative
Will just brushes him away and falls into sleep. The next early morning, the old man transfers almost all of his time to the sleeping Will, but only leaves 5 minutes for him to commit suicide. The waking up...
Why? Don't you just die when you run out of time anyway?
Will gets astonished by the huge amount of time shown on his forearm. He tries to stop the old man on a bridge, but it's too late. Will visits his friend later and gives him 10 years, hoping to make him take better care of his family. He then goes to meet his mother to leave for the rich zone together. The mother, who has used almost all of her time to...
Hello there, Forsen. Twitch staff here. I don't understand why you just can't play by the rules. Always making us work and do stuff. I mean, you could have at least put a nice spread asshole on that emote, and it probably would have stayed. Remember that, H.
Is short on the rising bus fare to return home. She has to rush back home on foot after refused by the bus driver. Unfortunately, she arrives a few seconds too late for Will to save her and times out at the last moment, dying in his arms. Heartbroken and angry, Will vows revenge for his mother.
So you stay 25 years old? Like age-wise? Like physiology-wise?
Mother's death by taking the people in the rich zone for everything they have.
So when you're 25, your mother looks 25.
Not long after that, after finding the old man's dead body, the timekeeper is treated as a murder case and set out to arrest Will, who they believe has killed the old man and stolen all of his time. While surrounding himself with the unfamiliar environment in the rich zone, Will feels hard to change his old habits. Given with such a huge amount of time though, he can't help but run to finish his business and keep checking his time left like the way he usually did in the past, for he had to save every minute of time. That night, Will visits a casino and meets the 27-year-old girl Sylvia and her 110-year-old time-loaning businessman father. While playing poker, Will comes dangerously close to timing out, but eventually wins over a millennium in a flawless gamble. Because of his adventurous spirit, Sylvia raises her interest and invites Will to a party. The next day, Will buys a new sports car and drives there. Being sick of the peaceful life and the overprotection from her father, Sylvia has a pleasant talk with Will and shows her great interest in his life adventures. She then takes Will out to the beach, where they grow their relationship rapidly, but without hormone let go, due to the timely interruption of her father. Back to the party, however, the timekeepers arrive and arrest Will immediately, although Will insists on his innocence in the old man's death. Rather than attempting to prove Will's guilt, the timekeepers simply confiscate all but 2 hours of Will's time. Agitated by their groundless accusation, Will then manages to free himself and takes Sylvia as a hostage for his escape. On his way rushing back to the slum, however, he hits a roadblock at full speed, causing the car to roll over badly and the two to lose their consciousness. The gangsters take most of their time later, but leave them with 30 minutes each. Due to the emergency, Will rushes to his friend's home, attempting to get some time back. But the friend's wife tearfully explains that he exchanged all the time to alcohol and drunk himself to death.
Forsen, watch out for
With
those
only a few
phone
minutes
clips
left.
today. Most of them include the voice lines of a permaban streamer who some say was the champion of Shundit. I'm pretty sure even playing his voice clips will get you in trouble.
-10, by the way.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no.
Sylvia chooses to sell her earrings to get an extra day for each. Will later calls her father to demand a 1,000-year ransom to be paid to the time mission for the desperate people. While still waiting for the ransom from her father, Will then take Sylvia to his home, where she gets to know more about this man, who's under deep influence from his generous father and determined to put an end to the time system. The next morning, knowing that the father refuses to pay the ransom for his daughter, Will decides to release Sylvia anyway and gives her a gun to protect herself. Sylvia, disappointed by her father, however, volunteers to kiss the heart-touching Will, but without hormone let go before the public. Right at that time, the
What?
timekeeper finds Will, but Sylvia shoots him in the arm.
That what?
To his surprise,
What was
the
that
injured
sentence?
timekeeper gets only 2 hours left. So Will gives him enough time to survive long enough for his squad to find him before
Hormone
running
let
away
go.
in his car with Sylvia, who chooses to stay with Will rather than go back home. In the following days, Will trains Sylvia how to
This
use a
reminds me
gun,
of a Bruce
and they
Willis
begin their
movie.
adventures to rob the rich and the time banks of the time and distribute it to those who are really in
I
need.
don't remember which one.
While on the other side, the timekeepers locate the two finally and come for them quickly. Will and Sylvia have to pause their hormone game and experience a narrow escape before getting onto a bus.
Hormone game.
They check in a local hotel later, believing it's safe to let
Why
go
the
of their
fuck
hormones.
are we watching
However-
this?
I don't know, dude. I actually don't know. I don't even know what this hormones shit is.
They have to let pause of their hormones again. For the gang,
I've what? They can't say sex on YouTube. Oh, because of the fucking algorithms or something? So they say hormone. I didn't get it, dude. I was so confused. I thought it was some error.
gangsters just break in at the right time and take control of the two, attempting to take away all their time. Infuriated a lot due to the several interruptions, Will manages to free himself from the gangsters and escapes out to the roof, where Will realizes that they can't significantly change anything. As under such a system, the government officials simply raise prices for all sectors faster to compensate for the time stolen away.
YouTube is full
order
of
to finish-
incels.
What? YouTube is full of incels? Probably. But, can't
This
say
all,
for
they
sure.
decide to collapse the time system by robbing her father's time capsule. Later, Sylvia baits her father and the security guards. while Will takes control of the father as a hostage. With his own life threatened, the father has to open the vault of a 1 million-year time capsule. Knowing that Will intends to collapse the whole time system by distributing that huge amount of time among ordinary people, the father believes that won't work in the long run, because humans are all eager for immortality due to their greediness. Will, however, rebuts him that not everyone.
I mean, he has a point. If he distributes this amongst everyone, there's no reason to work anymore. Actually, I don't know how many people they have in the world, but I mean,
wants an immortal life without a soul.
And then
He
who's gonna
locks the
fucking
father
make
in the
your
vault
sandwiches?
and leaves with Sylvia. The timekeeper chases Will and Sylvia back to the slum, but is too late to stop them from distributing out all the stolen time. Will and Sylvia run into the crowd and flee away.
You shall let pause of your hormones. You shall stop this hormone game. Ah, Medalu,
Yeah, sick hormone game with your mom, dude.
But unfortunately, they are stopped and confronted by the timekeeper, who accuses Will of such a robbery crime and vows to protect the time system even with a mean salary. Ironically, however, the timekeeper later checks his arm and realizes that he's just neglected to download his day's salary. He times out suddenly before the two. Realizing that they are also about to time out themselves, they both rush to the timekeeper's car. Upon downloading the timekeeper's salary, Will returns to save Sylvia just 1 second before it's too late. Days later, TV reports show factories in the slum are all shut down, as everyone has enough time and abandons their jobs, leading to the total collapse of the time system. While
what I
remaining
said.
wanted on the list, Will and Sylvia begin their new journey to rob the rich and feed the poor. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel.
Alright. I took this time equals money thing a little bit too far. Minus 10 minutes. Alright, very good. Don't link me more shit, by the way. I have some stuff. Okay, let's see. What is this safe? Okay, this was safe.